in West-Palm-Beach, Florida, where the president will cast his ballot shortly. There you can see it right there, the beast driving behind those trees toward the polling location. What we're told, what we understand, is there will be cameras inside the polling site. But hopefully we'll get a glimpse when he comes out. And that crowd, it's been very interesting to watch spontaneously, as often happens with the president, arriving on site just to catch a glimpse and before he casts his ballot.
Yeah, as you point out, those cameras are on site, those crowds are on site, so the president is arriving on site to cast that ballot. We'll be watching. There's some expectation, some sense that when he is done, he will come out and he will address reporters, and we should hear live from the president, Jedediah, as well. I believe we still have Jedediah with us as well.
Yeah. Yep, I am here watching, observing people outside, excited to see the president vote, excited to likely vote themselves if they haven't already. We've been talking all day about 53 million people having voted already and the impact of early voting. There you see the president has just gotten out of the car, heading into the polling station where he will cast his vote today. An important time as an American. Remember, this is our president, all of us. This is our country. We're deeply grateful for the right to vote and the ability we have to impact issues in this country. So this should be a moment that we all celebrate, watching our president head in there to make his voice heard, as we will all do. Some of us have done so already. Some of us will be doing that on Election Day. But this is a big day for America, and the next 10 days will be big as well as we head into the final stretch here, guys.
Yeah, and I also think part of the strategy from the Trump team to say, hey, if the president's out there voting early in person, it's something you should think about doing as well. So all of politics is also theater. But I also can't help but think back even just 4 years ago. Then candidate Trump voted in person on Election Day at a public school here in Manhattan. Doesn't that feel like a world away? On Election Day in Manhattan, from Trump Tower to the public school here. Now he's a Florida resident voting early as the president of the United States. Sometimes it takes a moment like this to step back and realize it's been 4 years.
And it really becomes a moment of symbolism. Jedediah, you've pointed out several times this morning the importance of voting, the freedom it encapsulates, the civic duty that it represents. And here we see the leader of the free world exercising that civic duty. It's symbolic of something we all have the right and, honestly, privilege and responsibility to exercise as well. But even beyond that, it's also symbolic because 54 million people now have voted early. We're in a different time, Pete, than what you point out 4 years ago. Record numbers of people are choosing not just to absentee vote, but to early vote, to do this, to do what you're watching on your screen right now.
And wait in long lines to do so.
Wait in lines, show up to the ballot box before Election Day and cast their vote. And what we're seeing here is a symbol of that, in that the President of the United States as well is not just showing up to vote, but to do so early in person, Jedediah.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people, just by tradition, will show up on Election Day itself. That's just something that I know my family, my parents, said this year. I asked them, I said, are you going to vote early? And they said, no, got to do it on Election Day. That's how we do things here. So I think it'll be really interesting to see how many people show up on Election Day. But you see that crowd out there really excited to catch a glimpse of the president. He's in there voting right now. I'm pretty sure we can take a guess who he's voting for. But there he is, exercising his right to make his voice heard, as many of us will do. Grateful for that right. And just this is a day, put your politics aside for just 1 second and just celebrate the patriotism of the moment. We live in a great country where we all have the ability to voice how we feel about things in a way that not everybody gets to, and that is something that should be universally celebrated on this day and others.
Yep.